Coming up, Iowa is allowing more choice in students' education. And later, a Des Moines teen faces first-degree murder charges.
Caitlin Clark shines in win over number 2 Ohio State.
The snow and chill in Iowa City is not quitting yet.
This is DITV News at 8:30. Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM. I'm Abigail Kurten. After more than 8 hours of debate late Monday night and early Tuesday morning, the Iowa House and Senate passed a controversial state-funded program. DITV News Director Ashley Wheel has more on what this means and how it happened.
It is an honor and a privilege, and I could not be more excited to sign this bill into law.
The Iowa legislature passed the school choice bill Tuesday morning. The bill allows students in Iowa to receive over $7,000 in tax dollars to attend private schools. This was Governor Kim Reynolds' biggest priority this session.
With this bill, every child in Iowa, regardless of zip code or income, will have access to the school best suited to their individual needs.
The legislation passed late Monday evening in the Iowa House, 55 to 45. It then moved to the Senate, where it passed 33 to 18. This bill was highly controversial with Democrat and even some Republican opposition due to private school selective enrollment and opinions with better uses of funds.
There are no requirements that they take every kid, and so therefore tax dollars shouldn't be subsidizing that kind of selective education.
The law will be phased into Iowa's budget over the course of the next 3 years. This is Ashley Wheel, DITV.
Additionally, in the Iowa legislature, the Iowa House of Representatives introduced an anti-tenure bill. The bill is now facing opposition from members of the University of Iowa and the State Board of Regents. The Board of Regents told the Daily Iowan they opposed the bill and, quote, "Tenure allows our institutions to recruit and retain the best faculty to teach, do research, and provide service to advance the institutional missions of Iowa's public universities," end quote. Many do not expect the bill to pass, as members of the university expressed tenure ending will hurt the state economy and universities' ability to recruit and retain staff. Similar bills have been introduced in previous years but have failed to become laws. 2 teenagers were shot and killed in Des Moines on Monday afternoon. The shooter, 18-year-old Preston Wells, reportedly cut off his ankle monitor and made his way to the Starts Right Here Center. The center in the business district in Des Moines is an educational program for at-risk youths. Wells shot and killed 2 members, ages 16 and 18, of a rival gang that stemmed from a dispute. Founder of the center, William Holmes, was also shot and is still in serious condition.
There is little one can say that will lessen their pain. Nothing that can be said to bring them back.
Wells was caught and is facing 2 charges of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and criminal gang participation. Samantha, the snow was coming down this morning. What's it looking like now?
Well, Abigail, as we can see, there is fresh snow on the ground and still more coming. I'm live on campus right now, and it's currently 27 degrees, and it's not getting any warmer. As we look at the rest of the day, it's going to be a high of 33 degrees and a low of 19. As we head into Thursday, the temp dips down to 23 degrees with a low of 14 degrees. Friday will not be a fun day to be outside. There's predicted snow showers throughout the morning with a high of 37 degrees and the same steady low of 14 degrees. The Iowa snow is in full effect this weekend, and it will snow all day Saturday with highs in the low 20s and low down in the single digits. Sunday does not have any snow in the forecast, thankfully, but it's going to be one of the coldest days of the week with highs in the low teens and lows in the single digits. Back to you staying warm in the studio, Abigail.
Thanks, Samantha. A recent study shows receiving your COVID-19 booster vaccine can provide extra protection against the virus. UIHC researchers contributed to a CDC study that examined the new bivalent vaccine's effectiveness. In the fall of 2022, the FDA approved the bivalent COVID-19 vaccine. The results from the study showed that adults aged 65 and older who have received the bivalent booster were 84% less likely to be hospitalized with COVID-19. Nicholas Moore, a UI professor of emergency medicine, anesthesia, and epidemiology, said, quote, "The bivalent booster is effective. We do believe that it will provide additional protection against these new variants," end quote. Those ages 5 years and older can receive the Pfizer bivalent booster as a single dose at least 2 months after completing the primary COVID-19 vaccine series or from their most recent dose. Children ages 6 months through 5 years old and those ages 6 years and older may receive the Moderna bivalent booster at least 2 months after completing the primary vaccine series or from their most recent dose as well. The increase of car thefts has been on the rise in the Iowa City area and Cedar Rapids area. Not only that, but auto theft has been happening all over the country as well. The most recent report says that 800,000 cars have been stolen just in 2020 alone. Officer Jennifer Roberts from the Cedar Rapids Police Department states that most of these thefts happen by chance.
But what we have found is that people will leave their keys in the car, and their doors unlocked. So when people may have the intent to break into the car, but then ultimately they find that the keys are in the car and then end up taking the car.
During the winter months, many people don't monitor their cars while they're heating up. Officer Roberts encourages you to keep all of your valuable items with you, make sure nothing desirable is in plain sight, and don't leave your car unattended or unlocked. New procedure that will save infant lives. Tracheomalacia is a throat condition that babies are born with that impacts their windpipe and can cause the trachea to collapse. Children with this condition usually receive a tracheostomy, where a tube is inserted into the neck, but this procedure often results in death. But a new procedure developed at Boston Children's Hospital ties the trachea to surrounding tissues and eliminates the complications caused by the previous procedure. This new procedure, called a posterior tracheopexy, was recently and successfully performed at UIHC for the first time ever. Doctors are currently working to use a camera and a long, skinny instrument to make the procedure less painful. Now let's go ahead and head on over to DITV Sports.
Thanks, Abigail. The Iowa women's basketball team faced second-ranked Ohio State in Columbus Monday night. DITV sports reporter Sam Hine can tell us more.
The number 10 Hawkeyes had themselves a dogfight on Monday. The number 2 Buckeyes in Columbus, Ohio, but a chance to knock off an 18-0 squad. Let's just say the Clark-Sinano duo would not disappoint. The first half of the game was neck and neck, but the Hawks found themselves ahead by 9 going into the break. In the third quarter, Ohio State evened the game back up, forcing turnovers left and right, maintaining an 8-0 run for the final 5 minutes of the quarter. However, Clark and Sinano took over in the fourth, and they didn't look back. The Hawkeyes put up 27 in the quarter, securing the 11-point win over the former undefeated team. But it was Caitlin Clark who led the charge for the Hawkeyes with 28 points, 15 assists, and 10 rebounds.
That's just kind of what I pride myself in, being able to do a lot of different things on the basketball court for my team. That's what makes us super, super hard to guard. You're not just guarding 2 players, you're guarding everybody on the floor, you're guarding people off the bench, and that's the recipe for success if you want to be an NCAA champion.
I mean, what can that girl not do? Yes, she led the country in scoring last year, but she also led the country in assists per game. People don't give her enough credit for that.
This game solidifies Clark's legacy in all of sports, as she's the second player ever to record a triple-double against an AP Top 10 team. The first, Marquette's Dwayne Wade back in 2003. Her triple-double count now rests at 8, which is a feat no Big Ten player has ever reached. And that feat is only growing bigger.
Thanks, Sam. Clark and the rest of the team returns to action on Saturday here at Carver Hawkeye Arena. and athletes across campus have been finding ways to connect with their faith together. DITV sports reporter AJ Reister has more on the group Athletes in Action.
Because of your partnership in the gospel from the first.
Athletes in Action, it's a faith-based ministry on campus whose goal is to help athletes apply faith to their sport. It's the goal for every athlete to have a Christ follower on every team, every sport, and in every nation so that everybody knows somebody who is a follower of Christ.
Practice that
I have.
I would just say getting to engage with all the different athletes and kind of hear how God is working through their life and how we can all kind of relate to one another and how everyone has kind of similar stories but kind of different stories at the same time.
My freshman year, I was with a bunch of seniors and a bunch of upperclassmen, and I was the only freshman, so I think just seeing them and how they proclaimed their faith and walked in faith was really inspiring to me.
What are some of the things you've done through Athletes in Action? What are some of your favorite memories?
I really enjoy doing Operation Christmas Child, which is where we all fill up a shoebox, and then we just get to wrap it.
Yeah, those get shipped off across the world to kids that usually don't get a lot of stuff for Christmas, and it's really a rewarding experience, and it's just great to do God's work.
And then going to Ecuador has been just an awesome blessing. We've brought clean water to Ecuador and families there, and then also giving them an opportunity to hear a little about Jesus. We went last year, took 14 athletes and former athletes, and this year we're taking 18 current athletes.
So that'll be a week long in Ecuador. The team impact the community, and then they work with a local church there of Ecuadorians so that then when they leave, that local church can continue to minister to the people they talk to.
The team will head to Ecuador over spring break and continue their mission of spreading God's love. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, AJ Reister, DITV Sports.
And Iowa's beloved wrestler Spencer Lee has won the Big Ten Wrestler of the Week award after earning 2 pins in 3 days. Lee has piled up 6 consecutive falls, with his last 4 coming against 4 of the nation's top 10 wrestlers in his weight class. This is Lee's 2nd award this season and 6th of his career, as he continues to push himself to be the best he can be.
Feeling better than ever. I'm always going to be hard on myself, so I always think I have a lot of room to improve. Trying to, get off the mat as fast as possible if that's the thing I can do. If not, then I got to wrestle 7 minutes and more if needed, just like we always say.
With Penn State coming up this Friday and the national championship in March, Lee will have a tough road ahead. But if we know anything from the camp, excuses are for wusses. And the Iowa men's basketball team travels to East Lansing to take on the Michigan State Spartans tomorrow night. Head coach Fran McCaffrey and his Hawkeyes look to bounce back after a tough loss at Ohio State last Saturday and rely on Chris Murray to carry most of the offensive load on Thursday. Murray is averaging 21 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block per game, while shooting the ball 51% from the field. From head coach Tom Izzo and his Spartans, they're slowly getting back to full health as senior point guard Tyson Walker is expecting to return after having dealt with a stomach virus, along with sophomore guard Jaden Atkins, who is regarded as the Spartans' best defender. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. on Fox Sports 1. Come back on Friday for more updates before the weekend. Now back to you, Abigail.
Thanks, Sarah. Now, before we wrap up, let's check in with Samantha, who's still out in the cold this morning. Samantha, how are you doing?
Well, Abigail, I'm doing good, but I'm just glad I wore all these layers today. It's still a chilly 27 degrees outside out here, but should hopefully get warmer later today. It's projected to stop snowing by the afternoon, but don't worry, there's more coming later in the week. Tomorrow will be a cold day, looking at highs of 23 degrees and lows of 14 with cloudy skies. Make sure to wear your gloves and hats, be safe walking to class, and drive safe.
Thanks, Samantha. Come on in and warm up now. And back over to Central Iowa. Reverend Rob Johnson of Des Moines turned 35 last Saturday, but instead of receiving birthday gifts, he decided to give back $15,000 worth of gas and pizza to his community. After the long day of service, Johnson said, quote, "Love is an action, and this right here, this is what we're doing, making it happen for our community. It's bigger than us," end quote. This is the second year Reverend Johnson has worked to support the locals, and he hopes to continue the tradition for years to come. Thanks for tuning in to DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7. Be sure to head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. Have a great day.